Hi and welcome to my channel. My name is Sylvia and this is Curupisa Crochet. Today I have a special project to share with you as it goes back to my memories of my childhood when I would go on holidays to my Oma's home, Oma Lina. Oma is the name that we used to give it to our maternal grandmother as she was a German descendant. Maybe I have told you before that my ancestors come from these different places, and so today I'm sharing with you some of my heritage. I remember many things from the time I would go on vacation when I was a child to my Oma's home, but one of the things that remained in my mind were the tablecloths and doilies. I can think of that now. So I tried to reconstruct the shape and the characteristics of those in doilies. I figured it would be very suitable for beginners as it's a very simple uh, kind of work, and you can achieve a nice piece, either in thin yarn or, as in this case I'm showing you here, with thicker yarn. I'll show you how to make up this square shape and how to change colors. And once you get the hang of it, you'll see that you can choose to make it smaller or bigger, or make up a set of doilies and tablecloths. In this case I worked with a 4mm hook, as the weight of the yarn is sport weight. And for this mercerized cotton yarn that is thinner, it's lace weight, I think, I used 2mm hook. You can see I don't suggest you a determined amount of yarn, since you will decide how big your doily will be. Either this small, this one measures 32 centimeters, or a bigger one. In this case, I choose the sport weight yarn to show you how to make the square, and you'll see I shall begin with a slip knot, and then I'll make up 5 chain stitches that I will use to form a circle, because we will work in the round. So to join the beginning and the end, I use a slip stitch. And now for the first round, I'll make 4 double crochet stitches. That's it. For the UK, it will be treble crochet. You see, I have this way of beginning the first double crochet that I learned from Mowgli. I showed you previously in other videos. So you'll repeat 4 times, 4 double crochet stitches and 2 chains of separation. And once you get those 4 groups of double crochet stitches, I'll show you 2 ways to join the first and last stitches, because in this case I change color every round, but you might choose to not change the color of your yarn. So, and in my case I choose to begin every round in the middle of one of the corners, as in this case. So it is convenient for you, if you do so, to do, instead of 2 chains, make 1 chain, for the last space between groups, 1 chain, and instead of making up another chain, do a single crochet stitch on top of the first double crochet of the round. So it will, your first stitch for the second round will be placed in the middle of the corner. So now I'll grab my other yarn ball. In this case, I'll add a pink one, and you'll see, as I told you, I like to begin working in the middle of this corner. And now I'll show you how to grab both yarns and how to begin working with this new color. As you see, I make a slip knot, and this way I can begin working with a double crochet or triple crochet, as you would call it in the UK, like this. I don't recall where I learned to do this way of beginning the new color, but it will give you the appearance of a double crochet stitch. Try to weave in as you go the yarn tails, so you don't have many tails to hide once you finish the piece. So you begin on this corner by working 4 double crochet stitches. And then chain 2 stitches to go to the next corner. And this you will repeat until you finish the round. Again, work 4 double crochet stitches, 3 and 4, chain 2, and again 4 double crochet stitches. In each corner you'll do the same. 4 DCs, 2 chains, 4 double crochet or DC, and complete the 4 double crochet stitches that you need to have 2 groups of double crochet on the last corner. And don't forget to make the 2 chains of separation and join the first and last stitch, maybe with a slip stitch, or as I told you for the previous round, with 1 chain and a single crochet stitch on top of the first one. So you can see this way your piece will be growing towards every side and angle. As in the previous round, I begin with a slip knot to make the first double crochet stitch, and again, as you can see, I begin in the middle of the first corner. So I'll make one of the groups of 4 double crochet stitches. So first double crochet and weave in the yarn. Second double crochet, third and fourth. And now we'll work on the side of this square. To do so, chain 2, and on top of the last of the 4 double crochet stitches of this group, work 1 double crochet stitch, chain 2, skip the chains from previous round, and on the first double crochet of the next group, work 1 double crochet, chain 2, and now you reach the corner where you will work again 4 double crochet stitches, 2 chains, and again 4 double crochet stitches. As you can see, it is a very simple work, and if you get the hang of it, you might even work it with no thinking at all. Then again, work on the side. Chain 2, double crochet, chain 2, skip the chains, double crochet, chain 2 and go to the corner. And complete the round again the same way. Well, most of the work will be like this round, working with empty squares. It's quite like working with fillet stitch. So, as I told you, it is very fast to make. Now I will add another color to continue with the rainbow for this tablecloth or doily, and start again with a slip knot, 4 double crochet stitches on the corner, right in the middle of the corner, you can see that many yarn tails remain there, and later I'll show you how to hide them. Chain 2. This round also is made by working with empty squares. So 1 double crochet on the last double crochet of the previous group, chain 2, skip the chains, and on the next double crochet stitch again 1 double crochet, chain 2, again double crochet on top of the previous double crochet, chain 2, double crochet on the first double crochet of the group of the corner, chain 2, and again, as we did in previous rounds, 4 double crochet stitches, 2 chains, and 4 double crochet stitches. And repeat all over again this work I showed you. Chain 2, double crochet on the last double crochet of the group, chain 2, skip the chains and double crochet on top of the next double crochet, and again until you reach the end of the side, like this. As you can see, it will grow. Now in this round, number 5, I'll show you how to do some variation of the work, because we will work not with plain empty squares as we did on the sides of the previous round. Begin with 4 double crochet stitches as in all the other rounds, and now we won't continue to work like this with this mesh. You will see. We'll chain 2, skip the stitches until the 4th double crochet stitch, And now instead of working this empty space, we'll fill it with 2 double crochet stitches on top of the chains of this square. So we'll repeat. Now we chain 2 and skip the 2 chains of the base, and then fill the next square. It will be 4 double crochet stitches. And so on until you reach the end of the side. You see, you can choose to do this work on all the sides of the square or to make it on 2 sides. That's your choice. Once you reach the corner, you work 4 double crochet stitches, 2 chains, and 4 double crochet stitches. And then again, on the second side of this square, chain 2 double crochet on the last double crochet of the group. Instead of chaining 2, do 2 double crochet stitches on top of the 2 chains, double crochet on top of the double crochet to get the full square here. And now 2 chains, double crochet on the next double crochet, 2 double crochet on top of the next chains, and so on. And you will see that in the next round I will do the same kind of work, but we'll be placing the full squares on top of the empty ones that you can see here, and the empty squares where the full squares are. You might not want to work like I did with this repetition of empty squares and full squares. As I showed you here, you might want to repeat more rounds of these kind of filet crochet stitch that I showed you in the previous rounds, or you could choose to do as my Oma did, work for instance 1 entire round all in double crochet stitches, or forming angles by filling the squares, for instance beginning from the center or from the sides, and whatever shape you would want to introduce to this kind of work. Before I continue to add rounds to make this doily grow, here you can see that I am hiding these yarn tails that remained with a smaller hook to make them pass through the stitches that I already made. You can see here, see, I passed the hook through the stitches and hide there the yarn tails. And you can see here that as the previous one, I added another round with full squares and then repeated the series of 2 rounds of empty squares and 2 rounds of alternative empty and full squares. And then you continue to work these rounds until you reach the size of the doily that you decided. Once we reach the size we needed for this doily, we need to give it a finishing touch by adding an edging. As you can see, I've started in this piece, but in this other one you can see how it looks. I wanted to recreate that feeling of that sensation of empty and full squares that I will show you here how to accomplish. I've already started with those two groups of double crochet stitches, as you can see here. But instead of the 2 chains I worked before, I decided to make it in a way that resembled those series of empty and full squares. So you will work every time in groups of 4 double crochet stitches, and instead of those 2 chains, as I told you, you'll chain 5, do a double crochet stitch on the 4th and 5th chain from the hook, and on top of a double crochet stitch, as I did in this case, another double crochet stitch, and you reach the height of 2 chains. Skip the 2 chains from previous rounds, double crochet stitch on the next double crochet, fill the 2 chains of the previous round with 2 double crochet stitches and the 4th double crochet on the next double crochet, and again chain 5 on the 4th chain, 1 double crochet stitch, another double crochet stitch on the 5th chain, and on top of this last double crochet stitch of the base, another double crochet stitch. So you can see you have a full square under, and on top of that another full square. Skip those 2 chains, 4 double crochet stitches again. You can see in the corner I did the same kind of work and replaced the 2 chains as I told you. And so you continue throughout the whole round until you reach the end and join the first and last stitch with a slip stitch, and well, cut the yarn and weave it in. And so you have a doily worked very quickly, very fast to make, and with this kind of yarn you can see that I've worked on 9 rounds and reached a good size, as these measures about 32 centimeters. So you can see it's easy and fast to make. So you could choose to leave it like this in a smaller size, or work it to make it bigger, or maybe, and this comes as a kind of a challenge, work on this basic square without the edging and leave it so until the next video, where I'll show you how to turn this square into a table runner, and it will not be by joining squares, it will be in a different way. So stay tuned, and I hope that you get hooked in this kind of project. As you can see, I chose very pretty colors and very joyful and cheerful. Well, we worked in many things today, making up a square, changing colors, joining yarn, and so I hope you like this video, and well, I invite you to subscribe to my channel and to give me a thumbs up. Feel free to share this video with other people, spread the word, and invite them to join us to work on the next project. And well, if you have stories about your Oma or your grandma, you might leave them in the comments. That would be nice to read. So bye bye.